Guys, it's Marc Zicree, Mr. Sci-Fi, also known as Marc Zicree of Space Command, and I'm here at my Space Command studios. And I just wanted to talk a little bit about the Age of Ultron, which I've just seen, Avengers. And yeah, it's a popcorn movie, and we'll all have our various opinions about it. But I was thinking about comic books and about science fiction. And, some comic books, a minority of them, are based on mythology. Wonder Woman's in Amazon, Thor's from Asgard. But most comic book and comic book characters in comic book movies are really science fiction. Basically, the characters either go out into space and get bombarded with cosmic rays like the Fantastic Four, or get bitten by a radioactive spider in an experiment gone awry, or in an atom bomb test like the Hulk, or come from an alien planet like Superman. And so basically, all of these are science fiction stories. And in terms of the movies, they all have sort of one of three menacing villains, usually. Either it's some person, hapless person who gets caught in an experiment and gains powers and is pissed off, or it's robots, androids, AI, or it's alien invasion. So, for instance, Age of Ultron is AI. It's basically Ultron is a super intelligent robot, essentially. And we've been seeing a lot of those kind of movies lately. So Her and Transcendence, which I thought should be called Him, and more recently Ex Machina, which isn't a bad film. Usually, again, these take one of two paths. Either the robot is sort of a masculine intent entity, wanting to take over the world or destroy humanity, or if it's feminine, it's more, like in Her, wants to talk and expand its consciousness and so forth. So, but I was just thinking about how science fiction films have become the predominant film of our time. And if you look at the top grossing films, they're almost all science fiction in one way or another, or fantasy, if you wrap in Harry Potter and Lord of the Rings. So it's fascinating how decades ago science fiction and fantasy films were not the big grossing films, and they'd come out every now and then, and they'd either be B movies, or if they came out like 2001, they'd be oddities that initially no one understood. Now basically the adventure film is predominantly science-based. And I think this speaks to, in the 30s, 50s, 60s, science became so much more a part of our lives and so much a dominant aspect of our lives that's where we look toward for our mythology. And so I think that the comic book films are very much an exploration of that, and their popularity is very much proof that this is where our hopes and our dreams and our fears, our greatest fears, lie. So that's about it for now. Just wanted to touch base a little about that. And it's Age of Ultron. If you want to go to the movies, it's not a bad time. It's not going to be the most profound movie you've ever seen. It's entertaining. Joss Whedon, of course, is a skilled writer-director. I personally prefer Serenity to these Avengers films. I myself am getting rather tired of the superhero films because they sort of go from A to B and A to B and A to B. I mean, how many times can we see Spider-Man having angst, or the Hulk worrying about if he's going to Hulk out? Or for me, it's very much very limited as drama, and even the adventure is very, for me, by the numbers. But I think it's being done well by the numbers now. But I think eventually the audience will tire of these films, like they tire pretty much of everything ultimately, as it becomes less and less of a return on investment. So, but that's about it for now. So we'll talk soon about many exciting things that are happening in the world of Space Command and Mr. Sci-Fi. We have our iTunes Mr. Sci-Fi podcast coming up very soon, and we're working on Space Command 1 and Space Command 2, and looking down the road at Space Command 3, 4, 5, 6, etc. So we'll talk again real soon. Feel free to comment about any of the things we've been talking about. Share this with friends. Definitely let people know about Mr. Sci-Fi, and we look forward to talking with you again real soon. Take care. From Space Command Studios, it's Marc Zicree, Mr. Sci-Fi, Marc Zicree of Space Command. Take care. Bye-bye.